Technology has made it so that job seekers can now comb the internet, sifting through thousands of jobs in a few keystrokes to find the ones you're best qualified for. But once you actually find the job you want, how do you get it? For this week's edition of 5 Things, I bring you 5 tips for actually landing your dream job. It wasn't so long ago that having a sleek cover letter and a perfectly designed resume could help you separate yourself from the pack. But today it's all about LinkedIn. More than 90% of recruiters use the professional networking site to find the right candidates for their open spots. But just being on LinkedIn isn't enough. Point to real-life examples of your work. Comb your network to find the right people to give you recommendations that will really make you stand out. And a final word to the wise, mind your P's and Q's. Sloppy writing and bad grammar don't fly on a resume. They're a no-go on your LinkedIn profile too. Companies have boards, why shouldn't you? One trend these days among professionals is to assemble a so-called personal board of advisors. Think of it like your top 5 professional contacts who you know best but whose advice you trust. When you get a new job opportunity or when you're looking to make a move, reach out to your board for advice. It's a way to stay connected to former bosses and peers and cultivate closer relationships from your network. Facebook and Twitter are very important to everybody's professional identity these days, but knowing how much of your personal life to share can be tricky. Use your status updates to draw attention to things that you're genuinely reading or that you're truly interested in. Blatant self-promotion is apparent even in 140-character bursts. One recruiter we recently spoke to even suggested taking a social media mullet approach. Business in the front, party in the back. I guess that means show a little color and fun, but don't be too screwballed and you'll be just fine. Next, in this tech-savvy world, there's no app for those intangibles that employers really look for. The mix of soft skills, personality, and EQ that makes someone either great to work with or a huge pain. More and more HR executives are actually turning to things like personality assessments to see how a person would fit within an organization. But don't worry, if you're afraid that your personality isn't up to snuff, a good place to start is just by having meaningful discussions with your colleagues. The idea being that you're less likely to be a jerk to the person in the cubicle next to you if you know a little bit more about their life outside of work. And finally, this one's a little counterintuitive, but sometimes the best way to land your dream job is to stop looking. As more recruiters turn to social networks to dig up candidates, oftentimes the most sought-after hires are the people that are performing so well and getting recognized for it that they're content and they're not even looking to leave their current positions. Employers actually even have a name for these people: passive candidates. You might look the most appealing to future employers simply by continuing to be the rock star that you are at your current job. Of course, that only works if you also make sure your LinkedIn profile doesn't have any typos. That's all for this week's 5 Things. For more, visit fortune.com.